Today on this episode, we're going to be discussing cost, upfront, install and running costs. So if you'd like to know more, then keep watching this video. Hi there, I'm James. I'm one of the directors here at Astra Lumos, and today on this episode, we're discussing costs. So upfront costs, install costs, and running costs of both lighting control, heating control, and audiovisual. We'll start with audiovisual because that's probably the most straightforward. As far as I'm aware, no audiovisual systems require a paid subscription. Very caveated as far as I'm aware. So I know things like the Denon HEOS setup I've got, free application. And in fact, I don't use the app that much. I just tend to click on the Spotify app, which is subscription but not for the music system, so kind of a bit ish, and then just click playlist, play, and then just beam it to whichever speaker and whichever zone I want to listen to. Sonos as well, their standalone app is not subscription based. Those are the two systems that are most common in the properties and projects that we do. Heating control, my favorite underfloor heating controller, Heatmiser, free app. So essentially all the app development and maintenance comes from the sale of their products. Lighting control, so Rayco app is free. So once you've bought the Rayco products and either the Rayco hub, if you want obviously the control from away from home, that app is free and the controller is free, so that's not subscription based, and neither is Lutron. So none of those apps are subscription based. The only one that really sticks out in my mind tends to be Ring. So if you buy a Ring doorbell, and then you add a couple of Ring cameras, so they've obviously got things like the Ring Spotlight, CCTV floodlights, things like that. If you want more than just live and real-time view, that is a subscription-based service. That tends to be why, if somebody asks me what I would choose for CCTV, if we're doing CCTV and also the Wi-Fi data network inside a property, I would always choose Unify, because although the cameras are, they're relatively costly for what they are. There's no subscription for it. It's all a one-up cost, and so although you've still got energy, like the actual cost of powering the items, you don't have to worry about any sort of subscription or that sort of thing. Obviously, when choosing a system, you've obviously got the upfront cost. So for example, if you were going down the Rayco route for lighting control, you've got things like switches, the actual switches that control things. You've got the receivers that power the lights or power the LED tape. And then if you want the away from home and the app control, then you've got the hub. You've then got the install costs. So a company like Astra Lumos come in and install the switch, adjust your wiring for the receiver, install the hub, get you set up, get you up and running, program the scenes, that sort of thing. Then you've got the maintenance. So Rayco and Lutron, relatively maintenance free. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but we, in a restaurant renovation, there was a Rayco system put in where lighting was literally had to be rock solid, because obviously you're in a restaurant, you can't have things failing or lights going out. So from a maintenance perspective, absolutely solid. No subscription, and energy usage is kind of one of those. It's like, well, how often do you turn the lights on? How long do you leave them running for? And when they're on, how bright are they? So those are those considerations. Heating controls, you've obviously got upfront cost of a Heatmiser unit, which is sort of in the £70 to £100 per Heatmiser Neo. You've then got the install costs, so either your existing electrician or a company like ours, or occasionally plumbers also get electrically certified, so you've got their install time. Maintenance, once again, Heat Miser Neo. I don't think I've ever had a unit fail on me, and that's at least 9 years. Don't think I've ever had a Heat Miser unit fail. So pretty low maintenance, no subscription, and the cost of running the actual Heat Miser unit is probably pence. It's not going to be very much. It's probably going to be 1 or 2 watts, just to basically keep it alive, keep it talking to everything else. Similar on the audiovisual side, upfront cost of audiovisual components tends to be quite high, just because of there's generally a lot of technology that goes into an amplifier or a wireless speaker, all those sorts of things. I'm pretty sure Sonos 1 Generation 2 is probably, I think it's in the £200 mark, maybe 250. So quite a high upfront cost. That's a DIY install if it's just a standalone speaker. However, obviously, if you're having a 5.1 or a 7.1 or a 7.2.2, that sort of thing, it obviously gets a little bit more complicated from the install side of things. Once again, amplifiers, don't know of an amplifier itself failing. They tend to be really robust because there's not that many moving parts. Generally subscription free, generally low energy, unless you're watching 5.1 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and you're watching it really loud. So most of these things, it's really going to come down to upfront cost of the items, and that can always be tailored to budget as well. So you can have a Rayco system and then upgrade it as you go along, in terms of you could have a living room, multiple scenes with existing fittings, and then as more budget comes in, you can then upgrade the fittings, and then as more budget comes in, you can upgrade the actual switch plates from white plastic to custom finish. So I know that Rayco work with Focus SB, who are another British company that we love here at Astra Lumos, and they do custom finished plates for Rayco. So if you have a colour or a particular rail finish, they'll do it for you. So hopefully, that comes to the end of our top 10 tips. That also ended up being a little bit more of an opinion piece rather than a factual one. However, hopefully you've got a lot of these last 10 episodes. If you do have any questions, we touched on quite a lot of high level things and we didn't get too much into detail, just because these are quite technical systems we're discussing. However, if you want to get more technical, do reach out. Happy to have a conversation. Or perhaps if you've got a project that you've got going on at the moment and you just want another set of eyes cast over it, happy to help. So do reach out. Contact details will be in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you on our next series.